seats for this one at Golden State. He is bringing the building home to you. Stephen A., the Warriors are down 17. The next three quarters, they outscore the Rockets 93-47. From what you saw, what did they get right in those last 36 minutes?
Well, it certainly helped that you didn't have CP3 and they turned the ball over 21 times. We can't ignore that. But the reality is this game came down to a blitzkrieg. We witnessed just a raining of threes. Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, after shooting 3 of 13 from three-point range in the first half, finished 14 of 28 shooting from threes. That's 50%. Klay finished with 9. Steph Curry finished with 5. It was an unbelievable show to watch. It was an aerial assault, the likes of which we have not seen in quite a while. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, but then again I could, because one of the things that I kept mentioning, get the ball to Klay Thompson. Find this man. Everybody's talking about Kevin Durant. We know he's a superstar. He finished with 23 points, still struggling from three-point range, but at least he had 4 turnovers today, which is 4 times more than he had in the last 2 games combined, which was 0. But that's okay. You got Steph Curry. He turned back into a three-point shooter because they turned him into a 2-point shooter in Game 5. But Klay Thompson, after hitting 8 of his first 13 shots in Game 5 was virtually ignored. You cannot have that. This is one of the elite shooters in a game of basketball. They remembered that. They kept finding him, and this guy kept making it time after time after time again. I'm telling you right now, it was something that was special to watch. And if that kind of stuff happens in Game 7, we're going to be back here for the finals instead of Houston. Houston's going to have to find a way to shut that down because, boy, were they on fire tonight. 64-25 outscored Houston in the second half.
I sense your enthusiasm for the performance. Klay Thompson had that kind of a blitz as well, Game 6 a couple years ago in Oklahoma City. Where did you see CP3's absence most acutely felt for the Rockets?
No, like I said, the turnovers. They weren't handling the ball. They weren't dictating pace. You're up 17 points, and you sense that Golden State is getting warmed up. You're Mike D'Antoni. You've got a call for the troops to slow it down, take your time, what have you. But Golden State amped up its defensive pressure because they knew that Houston didn't have any ball handlers on the court outside of James Harden. So you trap James Harden, you suffocate him. Ultimately, you force him to give up the basketball, and you force others like Eric Gordon, Trevor Ariza, P.J. Tucker, even Clint Capella to a lesser degree to try and dribble their way out of situations and scenarios. They're not going to be able to do that over the course of a game. Golden State knew that, went in attack mode, and were like piranhas just going all over the place, draped all over Houston, and Houston was ill-equipped to handle it.
So we watch at the end of that, Mike D'Antoni kind of, he draws his guys back, right? It gets out of hand, and he's not going to waste the effort knowing he needs Game 7.
True.
Having seen what you saw tonight from Golden State, when they're at their best, knowing how Houston plays when they're at home, which is terrific, give me your early vibe on a Game 7 here on Monday.
I'm picking Golden State over anybody if you're telling me they're going to be at their best. The problem is when they've been in Houston, they've been far from their best. What I would tell you is this. The key to me for Game 7 for Golden State, don't ignore Klay Thompson. You know Steph Curry is going to take his shots. You know Kevin Durant's going to take his shot. But did you realize, John, that prior to tonight's game, throughout this series, other than Game 1, where Klay Thompson dropped 28 and shot the ball 18 times, the next 4 games, he never had more than 14 shots. That cannot happen. You have to find this man. He's going to make perimeter shots. He has the ability to get to the hole, and you certainly know he can convert from the free throw line. It can't be just about Kevin Durant or Steph Curry trying to break you down. You have to get Klay Thompson involved, because if you get him involved, that's an additional individual that Houston will have to pay attention to. It will open up their defense more, and you're able to attack. Golden State does that. I expect them to win. They forget about doing that and try to rely strictly on Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. I don't think that's going to work in Houston. That's not going to cut the mustard.
Stephen A. Smith, done with us on SportsCenter here. You're going to be at midnight. Scott Van Pelt, yes, we'll see you there.
I'm everywhere. Come on now, whatever it takes.
Scott Van Pelt, midnight right after this SportsCenter.
All right.